Nobody else. You don't have him where bollocks, I'm doing one on FND or something. And you've already heard that. There he is.
Well, good evening.
Professor Morrison, how are you?
Sure, listen. May as well pretend to be something important. You know, because that's as far as it goes.
Well, no pressure, all eyes are on you.
Well, listen, after 36 years of marriage, I know what pressure's like.
So Katrina is still away.
Huh?
Katrina is still away.
There you go. So, yeah, so I have to say, kind of like when you're about to do something like this, you really do rattle at times, don't you?
Yeah, you do, don't you?
You know?
It's normal.
But you know, that's a good thing, Fikra, because then when somebody comes to you with, say, stage fright, or you know what it is, like.
Yeah, I just laugh at them. What are you talking about? Grow up.
Yeah.
It's excitement, Faker.
Huh?
Yeah.
It's excitement.
Yeah. I know it's you know, you get everything ready and you go through it enough times and you think, and then all you have to do is speak a little bit too fast and you run out of time. You know? Or you speak too slowly and now you have too much time. You know, so but it's all part of the fun of it.
All will be good. All will be absolutely great. So I'm looking forward to this.
And I love your celestial backdrop.
Yeah, I thought I'd do an Elon Musk.
Does the SpaceX kind of
Yeah,
portal?
This is Freddy's arrow. You know, you're in space. Yes. Looking down at the Earth in space.
There you are, Japan. Yeah.
Yeah, Queen's coming in from different space.
Hello.
There she is.
Hello, Karina.
Hello.
Hey, Karina.
Hello, John O'Connor.
How are you?
How are you?
Yeah, you sounded very shaky.
The furthest.
Just coming out. You're just, you're just out there. You know, you're universal, John.
That's it.
Hold on, I need to flip my thing. Yeah. Well,
See-
you look good today. You're out in the universe.
Stratospherical. That's what I am.
Oh my God. That's amazing. I'm impressed. I need to go and get my tea. Fikra, how's the voice now?
It's keeping up. I have my Lucozade and I have a bottle of water and I have another bottle of water just in case.
Oh my God. Well, I think you're amazing. I need to go and get my cup of tea. I'll say hello to you and then I'll go and get my cup of tea. So if I disappear for a minute, I'm just going to get my cup of tea. My kettle is boiling. How is everybody?
All good, thank you.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. Yeah, that's what I like to hear. How are you, John?
All good. All good.
Where are you?
I'm at home.
You're home? Okay. Well, sure, look at, we'll let you be home tonight, seeing as it's Monday night.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. That's allowed, is it?
Get your ass back into the office tomorrow night, though.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't happen... Did you happen to turn the heating on in the Palms on Saturday?
I don't even know how to fucking turn it on, for God's sake. Jesus Christ.
I turned it on Saturday. It must have been me. I turned the heating on Saturday and came in today and Mary was like, thanks very much.
Well, it wasn't me, because I don't know what to do. I have no idea how to even do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just said it was probably John.
Ah, yeah, thanks very much.
I know I didn't.
You could have, yeah.
But I probably will now.
Yeah, you better show me how it works then.
Yeah. I'll say he says he doesn't know how it works, but he does.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to begin to try. Go make your tea there.
Yeah.
Oh, Fikra, you have to be on your best behaviour now. Katrina's joining us, right?
I know. It's just one of them things,
I
God.
won't get to see him, it's alright.
There's no escaping it though, is there?
No.
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 And then she'll probably get the recording just oh, there she is. God, here I go.
Oh.
Talk about being judged.
Before we start, Fikra, is that a microphone beside you?
Here, yeah.
Yeah. What microphone are you using?
It's God, I don't know. I
No,
think
it's
it's
just the quality of the sound is very good from your voice.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
It is.
I've taken elocution lessons.
I'm gonna get me tea. Hold on, I'm gonna mute myself. I'm gonna get tea.
No, I think it's a Blue Yeti.
Okay.
I'm sure it says somewhere on it, but it's I'm just lucky to be able to plug it in. Yeah, no.
Huh?
What?
Who missed you?
So,
Is it your internet connection, Fikra? It is actually.
is it
Oh, no, it's gone back to yellow.
from mine?
Hi everybody, just a quick hello. Unfortunately, I have to go and do what I have to do on a Monday night. Just go around to my dad and sort him out. But I will be listening in the background.
So Fikra is on his best behaviour. He's already promised.
That's why he's using his, he's speaking eloquently and confidently.
I'll try not let you down, love. Mind you, it didn't stop me before. I know. But
Good to see you recovering, Katrina.
Thank you very much. I have the glasses on because, my eyesight isn't 100% yet, but it's getting there. Thank you very much, Mary. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. You're on the road to recovery. It's great.
Absolutely am. Yeah. But unfortunately, my dad still needs me to be there, so I'm going to head around now. But I am going to listen in the background as much as I can.
Great.
Okay. Talk to you again. Bye.
and give me notes on how I can improve next time, won't you? So.
Well, actually, we've only 16 so far. Give them another minute or two just in case. But you know what people are. Okay, so this is going to be really interesting. And you're asking for volunteers to work on anxiety. Yeah, Fikra?
I'll do them all together. Just once you all close your eyes together, it'll be grand.
Okay.
You'll be flying. But but no, tonight there won't be any kind of full blown demonstrations because well, I don't.
Next year, that'll be next year at 2026 speaker.
Well, there you go. You have to kind of build up to that.
Irish Therapy Conference 2026. We want to see a full blown demonstration, don't we?
It'll be a mass
Yeah,
hypnosis
yeah,
at that
yes.
stage. You see, I'll be that good.
I know.
Okay.
Won't
Okay.
you, Mary?
I'm getting lessons.
Absolutely full confidence, Karina.
And then the after party is going to be in your place. Yeah.
Well, they had a good run at it anyway, so they know how. They know where.
Oh, I'd say so. I'd say you were a help too. Yeah. So when are you gonna have a boys' weekend?
Well, it's open for discussion. And whenever they're up for it, I'm here. Absolutely.
Oh.
I know how now.
Now, John, you have to organise a boys' weekend.
Don O'Connor, you can do that from space, right?
Yeah, John, you can do that. You do that. We promise we won't follow you.
If we had Kenny and we'd probably have poker tables and barbecues and everything going.
That's a really good idea, man.
It's all there. I actually do have a poker table.
Oh, you're set. You're set.
All you need now is a pool table, and you'll be set. Right, come on, John. Get your arse in gear. John Scanlon.
Oh, yeah, I was just checking it was me you were talking to, not the other time.
He has his arse in gear. Look, he's out in space already.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to press record. Vic, are you ready?
Yeah.
Ready and ready.
Karina, since when is your name Fikra?
No, I thought you were talking to me. Sorry, I was
All right,
distracted.
okay. Just
Right.
checking. Yeah, yeah.
Bye.
Right. Here we go.
Recording in progress.
Yeah, hello everybody. We are on our March call this month, and today we have Fiacre Morrison, who is going to tell us all about anxiety and the unexpected benefits of it. Fiacre, it's all over to you.
Well, thank you, John, and it's great to see you all once again. There's some new people that I haven't actually met, but look, we'll be making up for that at the conference, I'm sure. And tonight it's really about the kind of what anxiety really is, the benefits of anxiety, because as therapists we get so sucked into and caught up with all of the problems that it presents, with all of the difficulties and the struggles that that sometimes we ourselves and our clients can actually kind of experience. And when John asked me to do this there last week, it was really the one of the kind of times when I kind of realized that there was something there. There was something there in the stomach, and the kind of even when he asked me, it was kind of, well, I knew I would do it, but there was something there. But as time went on, I was actually just looking back on one of the videos that I'd kind of done for myself before, and actually realized that I have a droopy lip, and it's not that I'm having a stroke or anything, but apparently nobody else can see it, but nobody else says that they can see it. So I think they're just being nice. But I think it's this side. Can't remember now, but it droops down. Okay, so if you do happen to notice it, just don't say anything. Okay, don't point to it. Don't make fun of it. It's one of those things.
Fiacre, your internet is really ropey.
Okay,
I
hold on there.
don't know if everyone else is seeing it, but your internet's really ropey.
And have everything knocked off that needs to be. Okay, is that any better?
Yeah, it's back white now. It was red there for a minute.
Okay, so okay, keep me abreast of that now, John. I don't want to be going off screen. All right, so anyway, so really, when I said it to John about this, and he said, look, just nobody cares, and he's absolutely right. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about me, and because everybody is so caught up in their own lives that we end up spending our time trying to impress other people. But they don't even notice because they're too busy trying to impress other people, who don't notice because they're too busy trying to impress, and on it goes. And it brings it back to, well, when you consider all of the people who are trying to impress you, who are vying for your attention, do you notice them? Chances are you don't, because you're too busy trying to impress somebody else. What that means is that really nobody cares. And when nobody cares, it means now you're free just to be yourself. Now you're free just to do what you do. Because if people like you now, when you're being yourself, they're still going to like you. If they don't like you now, they still won't. Nothing changes. But what it does is it means that you don't have to be worried about anybody else. That you can just live your life on your terms. That you can live your life according to what you want. And even though the word anxiety, it strikes fear into a lot of people, because most of us know of some people who have been struck with anxiety, suffering for years. And all it is a word. And nobody cares about the benefits of it. Okay, they just want it gone. They're afraid of what it means for them. When actually anxiety is probably one of the easiest and the quickest issues that you can deal with. Because the power it has is only because of either our ignorance of it or our misunderstanding of what it really is. And tonight, that's what I want to go through with you. Just going through, kind of some of the alternative, the other side of it. Now, I'm not going to go through a process to show you how to eliminate anxiety for good. Okay, there's no point because you probably have your own preferred technique anyway. I just want to use tonight just to help you to understand that it's not this scary monster that we as therapists need to be afraid of. Okay, so that when you're dealing with it, when you're working with someone, that now you, hopefully from tonight, that you'll have just a different perspective. Now, I just want you to carry on doing what you do. If anything that I say resonates with you, then please use it. Okay, all I'm doing is offering a different angle, a different perspective, that's all. Okay, if what I say sounds like rubbish, hey, just delete it. It's of no consequence. Okay, when you're doing it and enjoying what you're doing, hey, just keep doing that. Because anxiety pretty much covers anything that we're afraid of. So for phobias or addictions or emotional problems or speaking or relationship issues, interviews, driving tests, you know what they're like. Basically anything that holds us back from being the best that we can be. Because that's all we're expected to be in this life. Just to be as good as you can be. And one of the anxiety is really just fear. But the great thing about that is that fear is something that's definite. But when there's anxiety is involved, then you can just ask them, well, what are you afraid of? And it's very easy for us just to kind of rattle off a couple of things that, you know, whether it's an interview, whether it's speaking, whether it's just kind of being out socially, that we just give a generalized answer. And we get that generalized answer. But now it gives you a chance just to chunk it down, just to go deeper into it and just say, well, what about that are you afraid of? Just being nosy, just being curious. Because when they give you another generalized answer and then you go back further and say, well, okay, what about that are you afraid of? And if they give you another answer and then you go again. And eventually it will come to the point where they just don't know what they're afraid of. And now you're getting to the crux. Now you're getting to the crux of it. Because anxiety is not particularly a fear. Anxiety is not knowing. Even not knowing what they're afraid of. They think they're afraid of something, but they just don't know. And what's interesting is that with anxiety, look, nobody ever has had anxiety about the past. It's always been about the future. But not about all of the future, just a very tiny specific part of the future. And everybody with anxiety, generally, have the one thing in common, and that is lots of what-if questions. It's what if this happens? What if that happens? What if somebody says this? What if somebody laughs? What if? And these are all really interesting questions. The only problem is, there's no answers. Because what's a question for? A question is simply to get an answer. And in anxiety, there's lots of questions. And it tends that they're afraid even to answer the question. Because if you don't have any questions, if you answer all of those questions, you can't have anxiety. The problem is that they've loads of questions. But what if you were able to give them one answer that was going to cover all of those? What if you could give them that one answer that would answer all of their questions? Now, some of them, they'll be able to answer themselves. Sometimes they need other people to help them with the answer. But with all of the what-if questions, there is one answer. And all of those questions about, like, well, what if something happens, is basically because they don't know. And by answering the questions, they get to know. So when somebody asks, like, well, what if this happens? Or what if somebody says this? Well, the one answer that's going to cover all of those what if questions is, I'll deal with it when it happens. I'll deal with it when it happens. Because we have no idea. Nobody can predict the future. Nobody can look ahead and say, well, what's going to, kind of, and make a plan. It's like having a conversation. How can you script out a conversation? Because most of the time when we are looking ahead, when we are trying to plan like that and predict, it never happens. That's what worry is. And the proof of it is, let me throw a question to you. And for all of you who are a safe driver, okay, what if you're driving along, what if the car ahead of you jams on their brakes? What would you do? Now, I don't need an answer, like, it's just for you to think about, because most people will answer, because I've asked loads of people, so I know the answer, and they say, well, jam on. Okay? It's kind of the natural thing to do, isn't it? Why would you jam on when the car's half a mile ahead of you? And then they say, oh, well, but I will then, but I didn't know that. And I'd slow down, or you'd see, and you'd react or respond appropriately. I just say, well, but you're changing your answer now. Make up your mind. I say, well, I didn't know. And that's the point. How can we know? How can we predict what's going to happen when we don't have all the information? And the only time you're going to have all of the information is when it happens. And when you know that you're going to deal with everything as it happens, now you don't need to be worried about what's going to occur. Now, how do you know that you're going to deal with everything as it happens? Well, because you've always done it. That's how you've survived your life up to now. It's as simple as that. Now, the great thing about that is that, and psychologists have said that 95% of everything we do is instinctive. Well, take your driving, for example. You know you can drive. But most of you have forgotten how to drive, and it has become instinct. You just do it naturally. You've only 5% of cognitive input. Most of that is just, where am I going? If somebody gets in your way, what'll I do now? And that's it. How many times, if you have a manual car, how many times do you change gear? How do you know when it's the right time to change gear? You don't, you just do it. So when we're looking, and when we're dealing with someone with anxiety, that's all that's happening. They're looking to predict. They're looking to plan ahead. Now, it's a good thing, because they're trying to prepare. But if somebody says, well, what if somebody laughs? Well, it will depend on the situation, on who's around. Whether you're laughing as well. Okay, so every situation is going to be different, and so you don't know until it happens. But you do know, based on your past experience, that you will deal with everything appropriately. And one of the things about anxiety is that it's a really heavy word. It strikes fear into the hearts of anybody that hears it. It's just heavy. It's yuck. Nobody wants it. But if you were to take the word anxiety and just change it into something that is more appropriate, because what is anxiety? It's the not knowing. Now, if you don't know what you're afraid of, well, that's just uncertainty, isn't it? It's just uncertainty. And the good thing about that, and being able to even to see it, it is more appropriate because it's not fear. It's when you don't know. It's uncertainty. And by changing the word, it changes your response to the word. Because with uncertainty, well, now that's easy. Now we can actually find out. We can do something with it. It's a productive word. And then you add being an adult. Well, we have insight. Now you have uncertainty with insight. Just something to throw out there. So even when we look at anxiety and we see not naturally we're going to be seeing all of the downsides, all of those negative implications. But what if I told you that anxiety isn't the problem? What if I said it was more like a superpower? Because when you take anxiety with all of its symptoms and all of its responses, and you just turn that around and then you see it as productive uncertainty with insight. Because you look at all of the high achievers in the world. You look at all the people who have made something, like for example, like the likes of Oprah Winfrey. You know what her background is like. The struggles that she went through. Great excuse for anxiety. But she took it in a different direction. She's a great excuse, and as most people who have been through anything like that, well, they had the excuse, they just took it in a whole new direction. Stratospheric as well, like John. And again, why do some people react differently to it or respond differently to it? So what is that, this productive uncertainty? Okay, and again, over this presentation, that's all I'm going to be going through, like again, just about the other side. Because people are afraid and anxious about the anxiety itself. But anxiety in itself, like some people say, well, it's a natural response. It's a part of your body's survival system. Anxiety is just fear. It's there to keep you safe. But again, when I ask, well, what are you afraid of? And they don't know. So, why do we have it in the first place? Because not everybody has it. If it is a natural response, well, why doesn't everybody have anxiety? And it's easy to try and rationalize it and say and call it all sorts of things, but some people can get through their lives and just deal with everything as it happens. It's kind of like what adults are supposed to do. But we have this uncertainty. Uncertainty is that the capacity to learn more. And we have this, it's like an evolutionary advantage. It keeps us alert, it keeps us prepared, and it keeps us responsive. Because that's our function as humans, is to continue to learn, to explore, to create. And if anxiety was something that was natural, then it wouldn't be having such a negative impact on us, on anyone. And in that rationalization, people think, well, oh, sure, it improves performance, it keeps you focused, it keeps you... Well, actually, no, it doesn't. People think that, well, if you don't have enough stress, well, you become complacent, or if you have too much stress, you get overwhelmed. You can make up your mind. And they think that, well, you know, kind of athletes, all these high performers, CEOs, and even artists that can tap into that anxiety just to drive them on to fuel their success. But if that was true, well, why can't they harness and control it? Again, some people think that anxiety is like that motivation, it's that drive, and it's like being able to plan things ahead, but not so much. So I just want to offer just a different, maybe even a fascinating, but a counterintuitive approach to anxiety. As I said, it's a really heavy word, but it has loads and loads of negative connotations. And that's why by changing the word, you have a better insight into how this productive uncertainty is meant to help us as a natural process. And by, as I said, by changing the word, which is a big distraction, you change the response. When it becomes an uplifting or a learning experience, of course it's going to have a better response. As you know, all fear does is puts on the brakes. It stops everything that you're doing. Fear creates this mind paralysis where you can't even make a decision. And it's uncertainty only because we don't know what to do. But again, as adults, when you don't know what to do, we get to make a decision with insight. Now, when people feel that anxiety, it just really manifests as that feeling in their stomach. But we know that that feeling is adrenaline. Some people call it the fight or flight or fight, whatever. It's actually just adrenaline. But even getting caught up in the fight or flight response, because there's lots more different responses than that. Because you can stand, watch, analyze, you can assess, you can lie down in a cocoon and hide. You have lots of choices. I don't know why they pick on just the two. It's very dramatic. And that's all. And that feeling, it's that feeling that you get in your stomach, it's uncomfortable. Of course it is. Because the whole purpose of adrenaline is to remove all of the unnecessary blood from the core of your body to your arms and legs. It's an ancient, primitive response. But even with that, no drug company yet has been able to find a drug to overcome it. It used to be so we can kind of run away and escape from all their predators. But now that we have no predators, we still have it. That feeling was anchored when we were young and most of us in school, because if we got up to in the class and we forgot our words or whatever, we were told we were just nervous. And now when we get that feeling, we actually regress to that powerlessness that we felt back then. It's a great anchor. Not very good, but it's a great one. And the thing is that the only time that we're going to feel that now is when we're doing something important. That feeling That empty feeling in your stomach is just to let you know, it's your body's, it's your instinctive response, letting you know that what you're about to do is important. How do we know that? Well, you're going to feel it at the important times in your life, when you're doing exams, driving tests, job interviews, going out on a first date or a second date, getting married, all of these things, all of the important things, even doing these freaking presentations. Anytime you have to get up and speak, it's important. And when you get to recognize what that is, because even the highest paid speakers in the world are going to feel it. All the top athletes, and even the little ones, all feel it. But when they know what it is and they recognize it for what it is, now it doesn't have any effect on them. It's still uncomfortable, of course it is. But when you know what it is, now even the power of it reduces. So what are some of the hidden benefits? The ones that we miss? Well, when you have this the productive uncertainty, it increases your alertness, your awareness of your surroundings. Just like in the past, but even now, you're just alert. Not excessively. But this is what it does. It's to keep you sharp, keep you aware of what's going on around. But without the mind paralysis, now you're able to take in and act on and make decisions. Now you know that there's always danger in the world. But when you know there is danger, then you can get to live with it, you get to avoid it, or you get to prevent it. All because of that productive uncertainty. That we're able to look ahead and not predict, but we can plan. Next one is a clarity. That productive uncertainty gives us clarity on what's most important. Because that uncertainty forces us to prioritize and focus on what truly matters. It just means that we can assess situations, we can analyze situations and then make decisions. Because that's what adults are supposed to do. Now it can also create that drive to succeed. Because knowing that things can go wrong, that in itself can fuel the ambition and a good solid work ethic, because you know that as you look ahead, as you're planning, that every stepping stone is important. Because even the fear of failure can also be upgraded. Because fear can be upgraded to the word passion, to willingness to learn. Fear, it's just uncertainty. It's just uncertainty. And that productive uncertainty, it creates an empathy and an understanding of other people. It gives you a broader base. It makes you more emotionally aware and sensitive to other people's needs. Because using your own experience and the insights, you get to understand how people think. You become naturally attuned to even to their emotions, to what they're thinking. That in your own sensitivity to them, You get to work with them better. Get to understand them better. And as you get familiar with this productive uncertainty, particularly with insight, it gives you a greater ability to handle those high stress situations. Because the more you engage in that uncertainty, it builds a resilience, adaptability, where you can improvise, adapt, where you can be creative. Because knowing that in the past you dealt with everything as it happened. That you get to learn through your own experience. And with that insight that accompanies that uncertainty, now you can be better prepared for all challenges and dangers. It just means that you can anticipate better. You can anticipate the obstacles, the problems, the challenges. It just makes you a better planner. Makes you a better partner, a better person. Because with the insight you can look ahead and see. Now all of these, like, how do they all relate back to anxiety? Well, it just means that by changing those words, you get to see a whole different world. And even when people with anxiety, who have been labelled as anxiety, that when they start looking at it in a different way, it changes their perception even of themselves. Because they've been, again, anchored with all of the negativity of anxiety, freezing them, paralyzing them. Because most people who have been struggling with anxiety for any period of time, but all that happens is that it keeps getting bigger. It keeps getting worse. It keeps getting more overwhelming. That's just the nature of it. But again, with all of this, with this new uncertainty, and it is productive because now you've got passion and now you have a direction. And because as an adult, now you get to analyze, you get to assess, you get to have that insight. And it leads also to a deeper introspection so that you, for your own personal growth, and just increases your own self-knowledge, your own awareness, your own needs. And we all know how important self-care is. Laura's been through that. And being able to now balance your life. And all you're doing then is passing it on to your clients. Because now, with increased motivation, with that insight, with that drive, with that passion, now it can push you just to take action, to do things. And for anybody who's been, I dare say the word struggle, with procrastination. Now with that productive uncertainty, now that can be a thing of the past. Procrastination just being one of those symptoms of anxiety, of powerlessness. You become, and with that, you just have an increased productivity in general. You become a better person. You become a better teacher. You become a better person overall. And because of that, now with the insight, now, and you know people who have had this health anxiety and social anxiety, well, now when you see it as the uncertainty, now they get to even look themselves, because it's their uncertainty. We can't give them the answers, and it wouldn't be right to give them their answers. Sometimes it's important that they find them themselves. Not even cognitively, not even consciously, but just giving them that space. Like giving them that reprieve, that relief from that, all those negative, that heaviness and all the connotations that's. Because it's hard for people when they're burdened with anxiety to even to see beyond. Even to imagine what life would be like without it. And it means now with that productive uncertainty, now you can plan ahead and make better choices, both socially and. Because anxiety, all it does is it creates monsters that aren't even there. Creates monsters. Now we know as adults, monsters don't exist. But we act like they do. Now that's a bit silly, like how do you mean? Well, just look at anybody now I know none of you would, but anybody who would look at a horror film, you know, and they know it's not real. They know there's actors, they know there's special effects, they know. They can pause it if they want a cup of tea. They know it's not real, but it'll still frighten the life out of them. Because their imagination creates the monsters. They create it as if it's real. But as grown-ups, we knock it off and that's the end of it. But it doesn't just work with horror films. Look at sad films. Look at funny films. They're not real, but we could be in stitches. Not real, but we could be in tears. They're not real, but still we feel as if it is. That's how powerful your imagination is, and with all of those monsters that we have created, and there's lots of them. But they're not real. But we do live as if they are, and it's that belief that they're real that keeps us locked into our beliefs, into how we respond, into that paralysis. And really, just really to sum up, just how do we manage? How can we take all of this productive uncertainty and keep it as a superpower, as something that we can use, something that is useful? Well, balance is the key. Being able to harness the benefits of that productive uncertainty. Being able to learn. Being willing to learn. Because that willingness to learn actually accelerates the learning itself. And by just reframing the word anxiety into that, now you can use your own words. I just picked these, they were handy. They sounded good. But anxiety is just the monster that we've created. It's not real. But it keeps us locked in. Even sometimes as therapists we say, oh my God, not another one. But they're only monsters. They don't exist. Not for adults. It's alright for kids, they don't know any better. But we can use that productive uncertainty now as a tool, instead of seeing anxiety as an enemy, as something that you had to overcome, overwhelm, overpower. Now, a lot of people use strategies like mindfulness or exercise or work. You know, we do meditation, we do journaling, we do gratitude, we do, you know the plethora of stuff that people do. The only thing is that they become distractions only. Because if you have to do it every day, well then it's only a distraction. And you already know. You already have your own techniques to eliminate anxiety for good. You already know. Now, it's great to use meditation and mindfulness and all of those other things for what they're meant for. They're not meant to get rid of anxiety. They're not meant to do anything other than distract. Even exercise. Because as I said, if you have to do it again tomorrow, because your anxiety is still there, well then it doesn't. But again, we get caught up in, oh well, if we do these things, yeah, it will help. Well, actually, no, it won't. And I don't want to even to challenge anybody, but just being logical, being realistic. Why not just get rid of it for good? Because once it's gone, it's gone. That this productive uncertainty, it's a signal, it's an indicator that when we recognize it as what it really is, we get now to use it. We get to use it and prepare to take action, to do what we need to do. So that we're consistently acting on and dealing with any issues that come up, any challenges. And by consistently dealing with things as we always have, we just never realized we were. But now, as with that insight, with that productive insight, that now as we deal with everything as it happens, we stay in control. So that nothing builds up, nothing becomes stressful, nothing becomes overwhelming. So that uncertainty can enhance alertness and resilience, that motivation, success. That uncertainty can take danger and help us to learn how to work around it, how to deal with it or just to avoid it. And just by changing the word, and you can have your own word, that will have a huge impact on the powerlessness that the old word, that anxiety word, created in the hearts and the minds of anybody who's suffered through it. So I just want to ask you, just to finish up, having just a different perspective. Because how will you use your skills, your techniques to be able to deal with that productive uncertainty from now? My hope is that you can have a different relationship with that anxiety. Because as therapists, you get to look forward to having the positive impact on your clients' lives as you just continue to eliminate anxiety for good. I want to thank you for your attention now. Okay, so if you have any questions on any of that, or if any of it made sense, just feel free just to shout out.
Thank you, Faker. That was really gets you thinking in a different direction.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the word, isn't it? I mean, long ago, people used to call it worry or nerves or whatever,
Yeah.
you know, which allows you to focus on whatever the issue was. But, yeah. Anyone got any questions?
And just to add to that, John, the words that we use, and not just anxiety, but a lot of the words that we use have huge power. They have huge implications. Because we use even the word fear. When we use the word fear, it's an instinctive response. We just stop. We put the brakes on. That when we say we're afraid of speaking, we jam the brakes on. But when we take that word fear and just turn it around and just say, yeah, I'm just uncertain about it. Nervousness, anxiety, and fear, they all have those, they're all heavy words there. Yuck.
A lot of it's conditioned, isn't it?
Yeah. But you
It
can,
is.
and the great thing about being conditioned is you can recondition.
You can uncondition yourself. Yeah, because I mean, the question is, who do you live with 24/7, 365?
Yeah.
It's not Katrina like you think, it's you. So the words you speak to yourself are far more important than, you know, so using those words properly, just as you said, really important.
Yeah. It's always interesting when people are afraid of being judged. Well, of course you're always being judged. Everybody has an opinion about you. But what if the people who are judging you are actually judging you as the most amazing person in their life? The judgment? You're probably not, but what if that's what they thought? And when you say that to somebody, again, who has this fear, it's gonna, oh, well, that wouldn't happen. They're only focused on the other judgment. But judgment is across the board. It's neither good nor bad, it's just a judgment. It's an opinion. You know, and that's because for most people, they do like you. That's why you have friends. There's people who love you. But what is it they see in you that you can't? If you trust them, if you love them back, but can you not trust that they see in you the qualities that you can't actually see in yourself? Because hey, we were growing up, we were dragged up in a country that you weren't supposed to think good of yourself. Now all of that's still there. You know that no matter how good people think of you, we'll always think of the other. Not because of what they're thinking, but what we're thinking of ourselves. And that's where, your self-talk, how you see yourself is so important and so powerful. Because it doesn't matter what other people think. We'll blame them. We'll put the blame on everybody else. We'll say, oh, no, I'm nervous of them thinking of me. But we'll reject anything that's good. We'll always judge ourselves badly. No wonder we're all messed up.
There's that thing about us ourselves as therapists who know a lot of this, and then there's the difference with the clients that you're dealing with. Because, I mean, I suppose in essence, and please everyone else jump in, I don't want this to be a two-way conversation, but like we live in a society that does promote judgment. If you watch social media, if you watch news, if you watch newspapers, you know, any of that kind of stuff, it does promote judgment. It does promote. Now we ourselves know that you're right. You're trying to impress one person, and they're trying to impress someone else, and they're trying to impress someone else, and it just keeps on going. But for us, we know that, or even if we don't, then we have a much better access to get that information. But for the clients who come, who don't necessarily have that, What do you do?
You be the one. You know, you bring them. You again. There's so much that they're struggling with anyway. Most of it they don't even know. And the great thing about hypnosis, you don't need to know. And one of the I suppose the disadvantages of being a therapist is that you want to fix them. You can't. That's not our job. We facilitate, we create an environment where they can do that themselves. Okay, but it's not for us. And being able to even to turn it around, instead of looking at all of the reasons why they're, kind of cognitively, where they're consciously kind of, oh yeah, I have this, and this. There's a much, much easier way. Because all they're, and if we had time for a demonstration, it'd be great, but really all you're looking to do is actually just to get them to see what their problem, how do they see the problem itself. And it's as simple as, well, look, close your eyes, you have a look at the problem, and they know it's horrible, they know it, but they're not, all you're doing is you're getting them to measure, put it on a scale of 1 to 10. Simple as 20 seconds. You don't want them getting engaged in it. They know it's big. And again, it's it's a content-free effect, because once they get to see it, and then they can have a look at it, and then now they have it on a scale. Now they can see why it's uncomfortable. But the good side is, like, well, it's like, if you get a stone in your shoe, what are you going to do? You'll take it out. Why? Because it's uncomfortable. Okay, makes sense. But is the discomfort itself, is the discomfort the problem, or is it the stone? Obviously the stone. Because the discomfort is your body's way of letting you know, look, there's something there that doesn't need to be. It's looking to get your attention to do something. That's all. Now, when we take the stone out, what happens? You're back to comfort.
The lines,
It's gone off again, is it? Can you hear me?
yeah, no, it's jumping. It jumped a lot, but it'll come out in the recording anyway. But,
All right.
yeah.
So look,
It's just gone again there. Now you've frozen. Has anyone else got any questions? Because it was a really interesting presentation. We are processing.
You mentioned there, Fikra, that we're very self-deprecating in the way we speak to ourselves. And Bruce Lee is credited with saying we should never speak badly of ourselves, because words are magic. That's why we call it spelling.
yeah.
And a great thing to use is, if you're dealing with somebody who's can't get over that concept, if you know who they admire in life. So just for argument's sake, Peter O'Mahony of the rugby team, if they admire that person, give that saying to that person to deliver. And then it hits home.
Mm.
So substitute Bruce Lee with somebody that they actually admire, and it hits home then.
Yeah. Or even consider saying that to a baby.
Yeah.
Or your dog, if you have a dog. Or a cat. Or a fish, whichever. Like, I mean, I'm not fussy, like it's... But when you actually put that into someone that you care about, or something that you care about. But the thing is that when we are self-deprecating, because we're almost like we're constantly beating ourselves. Now, I mean constantly, because it's 24 hours, even when you're asleep. We're on this because it's always there as an undercurrent. This aggression, you know how aggressive we are to ourselves. Try spill something. You wouldn't say what you'd say to yourself to anyone else or anything else. But that's how we see ourselves. It is that low, it's that, with that aggression. And you know, aggression has passion and feeling, and that goes much, much deeper. And that's why it ingrains so easily. And that's what we're living with since we were kids.
And the other side of it is when you say those things to yourself, there's no one to answer you back. You don't have to justify them, you just accept them.
Yeah.
Whereas if you say it to someone else, you've got to justify it. Or you've got to have an argument, one or the other. But if we do live with ourselves 24/7, 365, then wouldn't we like the person we'd like to live with?
Yeah. And the thing is, we get to choose. We get to be able to turn that around when you become aware of it, and now you start looking at what you're really like. Because even in that self-deprecating, well, yeah, you can eliminate that. I worked recently with a lady she was 35 years struggling with anxiety. Huge impact on her. It was just getting worse and worse and worse. 35 years, it's a long time. And it was nice to be able to just explain a few things to her, get that turned around so that by the time she finished the session, it was gone. I saw her twice more, but been onto her and speaking with her, and hasn't come back. Not because I'm a great therapist. I wish I was. I know most of you
Be nice
are,
to yourself.
but no, seriously, but most of you, there is no difference. We're all in this together. We're all with the same intention. Okay, but it was because all you can do is, create that environment. She did all the work. She got to see it differently. And that's why, that is one of the great things that we have as therapists, is that you can turn somebody's life around in 1, 2, 3, 4, it doesn't matter how many sessions, but when you can turn their life around so that they are different, that they see themselves as different. What an amazing gift to give someone. Even better when you're getting paid for it, but hey, that's part of the deal.
Deegra, why did you say, I wish I was? I know you a long time. You're a fucking good therapist. Excuse the French. Nah, the hell with the French.
Well, put it
it's
this way.
fully allowed here.
Well,
We're Irish. It's fully allowed.
We have a bleeper, have we?
Yeah, no.
John, thank you, and I really do appreciate you saying that, but it's like when somebody else can see in you something what you can't. Okay? I also can see, and I know I am good. Only because I have the experience and I have an insight but that's all. I wish I could be better. And I am working towards, as we all are. But to put me above anybody else, well, that's not good. And I'm not a brilliant therapist. I'm just ordinary like everybody else, with a good intention and a pure intention, and that's all you can go with. But thank you. I do appreciate the acknowledgement, and you're great too.
Thank you.
Anyone else got any questions or comments even?
I came across something recently that I'm to look further into. Have any of you heard about mind movies?
Yes.
Using AI to actually make the movie of your future.
Yeah, there used to be another thing out before a few years back, and I can't remember what it was called, but now it's AI that does that. Yeah, so you create the images that you want. There was a thing called Mindstorm many years ago in the 90s, where you actually became the writer, the producer, the actor, and you directed it all. You got it the way you wanted it and showed it over and over again. Same principle.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's really good because ultimately it's tuning your reticular activating system to what you want.
But to bring it on a stage, you actually play it for 120 seconds every morning. And that's it. It sets you up for the day.
Yeah, it's really powerful.
Well, one of the things that we as therapists again have the option of doing, maybe we don't, but it's live your practice. Live what you're doing, so that it's not just a 9 to 5 or a kind of a while you're with a client, but that every moment of your life is actually reflected in who you are. That it's not just a disjointed part of you. It's like if you're going to be nice all the time. You know, that when we do actually do that, when we actually deal with people at that, and not as a therapist, but at the insight of a therapist, it just gives you a better, well, it cuts out lots of the stresses and the frustrations, because now you get to see them as what they are and who they are.
Would it be fair to say, Fikra, that's the difference between it being a job and a vocation?
Well, even a job, like an electrician is always electrician. They're always on. They know what they're doing. You know, they're always going to be, and when you're doing it as a vocation, well, you could do it as a way of making money, and yeah, you could, and you can do it very well. Okay, but unfortunately, like that passion, that drive, and that insight just wouldn't be there. It's like I suppose it's a bit like loving somebody, caring for somebody. You know, it's always there. Even when you're not thinking about them, still love them. Still care about them. Even if it is your dog, or cat, or fish. Okay? That it becomes who you are. And that way then there is no preparation, there is no build up now to get ready for a client, because you're always ready. Because it's who you are.
Really good point. Really good. It's congruency.
Yeah.
That's all 24/7.
And that's one of the reasons why, like, I mean, in this group, as you know, like, I mean, you have a whole host of amazing therapists with skills that, you know, that as they combine different skills, it becomes a whole different therapy in itself. Any one of us who has any problems, any issues, and doesn't take advantage of that, just make you wonder.
That
That
is one of the...
we have everybody. We have the best of the best. Reach out.
I'm glad you're saying that, because I keep saying it. So, I mean, if people, you know, if people are struggling with something, if people do want to overcome something, so you can work with a confidence, but you don't necessarily feel confident yourself or whatever, just work with somebody. There's lots of people there.
Yeah.
You know, it is about the community expanding as a collective, and it's about using the skills that we all have for each other.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid. I mean, it's only a matter of finding someone that you're happy to work with. And once you do that, but that's where the in-person stuff comes together as well, because you get to know somebody from, you know, whether it's LARN, whether it's conference, no matter where it is that those take place, but you get to gel with somebody.
Mm. And I heard it many, many years ago, the greatest honor you can give someone is to ask for help.
Yeah, it's a thing called trust.
So use the people that are there.
Yeah.
Even to find out what they do, even to get a sense, so that you can actually, you know, even refer people to them. You know, because the skills are all there. The mix is all there. There's people who specialize, right? Go find out. That's what this community is all about. It's to make it vibrant, to make it alive, to make it better.
Yeah, empower all of us.
There you go.
Help our clients then. Help the profession on top of that. Everybody wins. Any more questions? Anyone else left in the crowd? Anyone else got any questions that or comments you want to make? Fiacra?
Hi, Fiacra.
Hey, Cormac.
I'm just wondering, and this is fantastic. Well done. It's been great listening. You know, when you're speaking to a client, you're working with someone around anxieties and like putting a little bit of responsibility back to them, that it's not necessarily something that's happening to them, that they're complicit in it. What's your way of telling them that without telling them it's their fault, if you know what I mean?
I don't. Okay, because I actually kind of, the thing was going off. It's when you can actually just, the thing is that when they're coming to you, they're coming because they're fed up with something. Okay, now knowing that most of the problem that they have no idea where it came from or why it's there. All they know is that it's uncomfortable. It's holding them back. And that's why when you get to forgetting about anything, because what they're going to come with, and I think it was Dinara was saying before, like, I mean, that, you know, when people come in with a problem, it's only a symptom. It's not the real problem. They're telling you their problem, which is only the discomfort. Now you know that the discomfort is your body letting you know that there's something that needs to be addressed. Now, when it comes to a stone, that's different. It's a physical thing. But when it comes to these internal feelings, all of these beliefs that we have, they are there. They are too deep and too ingrained for us intellectually to be able to deal with. But your instinct, your body, your subconscious mind, whichever way you want to call it, knows what to do. It already has the blueprint. It knows how to fix these. The discomfort is that your body trying to get your attention, to let you know, look, there's something needs to be addressed, but I can do it. But again, through our conditioning, all that's happened is that when it's uncomfortable, we fight with that. We try and get rid of that. Same way, if you get a stone in your shoe and it's uncomfortable, it's like trying to now take away the discomfort without actually addressing the stone. So when you now take it out and have a look, and where you can get to see it differently. And that's why when they put it on a scale of 1 to 10, all they're doing is seeing how big it is, as a way of actually kind of even understanding that's why it's uncomfortable. But when they can put a measure on it, you're just tricking them into stop fighting with it. For that instinct to be able to resolve it, it just needs a calm, quiet environment. All of the fighting and the aggression is the wrong environment. It can't. So all you're doing is you're tricking them into actually giving it a calm environment, because now, as they put it on a scale, now they're doing it mathematically, they're doing it logically. That's all. Now what's really interesting is I've done that 3, 4, 5 times with someone. And they've started up at 10. Now we do it for 20 seconds each. It's not a long thing because I don't want them engaging with it. I get them to put it on the scale, open your eyes now and tell me what it is. And then you get them to close their eyes, put it on the scale, and you do it again and again and again. And after 3 or 4, sometimes even after 1, it already starts to come down. Now all you're doing is you're getting them to see their whatever they were struggling with, and now it's gone from a 10 right down. Now all you're doing in that is that the instinct is resolving it. You haven't had to do anything. You're just distracting them. It It doesn't come back.
Fantastic. I love the stone in the shoe metaphor.
It's easy,
Nice
doesn't
start.
it?
Nice start using it. Yeah. Thanks, Victor.
Okay. The thing about the stone is everybody can relate to it. And the thing is, even you know how uncomfortable a stone is, but are you afraid of getting another one? No, because you know what to do. Now, any other feelings that they have that they're struggling with, now you do the same thing, you know what to do, so now they're not even a problem. That you're teaching them how to create that calm, quiet environment so that the instinct can just do what it's supposed to be doing. How do we know it's supposed to do it? Because it does it. It does it quickly. Now, some things can be resolved just like that. Some will take maybe a little longer. But when they know, no, that's okay, it's because it's in the process, now it's not even a problem. It's uncomfortable, but we're not strangers to discomfort. Anybody who's done any sports, there's a lot of discomfort involved. But you don't mind because it has a purpose. Hey, pregnancy, I believe, is very uncomfortable. People do it. Even looks uncomfortable. But it's okay because it has purpose. Anybody who gets tattoos, certainly not comfortable. But they do it. These happen to be the same people who'd be afraid to get an injection. You know, and that's all. When they change that relationship with the problem, when they get to see it doesn't have to be even logical. In fact, it's best if it's not. Then it's gone. Because you're just creating that environment where the instinct can now just do it, wipe it out. Give it a go. It's interesting. Okay.
That's so.
Yeah, go ahead.
Anyone else?
Well done. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's about the size of it. Thank you so much. Really glad to do this because I've been looking forward to it. And because there's a different perspective on it.
Yeah. And listen, and thank you for all of you for being here, and for those listening to the recording, because that's important too. I know not everybody can attend, but listen, thank you to John. You know, you're doing so much for hypnosis here. You know that. Okay. And look at the response that you've got for even this year's conference. Okay, all down to you. And the great thing about you, John, is the humility is, wow. You know.
Thank you.
And you're an inspiration to all of us. So thank you for all that you've done for us. Even bringing us all together. Jeepers, how could we have met if you haven't been around?
Yeah, it's funny actually.
It's not a chance.
When you think about that, yeah. It is, and I mean, the next one is only 25 days away now. That's all. Literally, we start in 25 days' time. And it's really interesting. There's so much interest from abroad. Nearly 50% of those coming are from abroad. They recognise the talent that's there. So for people who haven't yet got their ticket, the talent there is amazing.
Yeah.
If foreigners can see it, you know, and they're coming to see both Irish and American and European names, and it's going to be some conference. I can't wait for it.
Yeah. But here in Ireland, we're new.
First.
Yeah, but we're newbies to this. You're the only one who did it. But after just 3 years, look how big it actually is.
Phenomenal. It's absolutely it blew me away. But it goes to show you, a little country like Ireland can make a huge impact. In fact, I think it's safe to say we're the second largest conference in Europe.
Yeah.
Wow.
London. You know,
That's amazing, John.
you know what, and that's the power of, like, Ireland is an attraction for everybody, and the ripples that we're making here just are rippling out beyond. You know, I mean, even what you were doing last night, Cormac, in terms of rippling out into the States and stuff. Karina was in Hypnothoughts. It's just rippling out, and you and me are in Belgium. I'm in Hypnothoughts again later on this year. It's like it's just rippling out and out and out, and others are as well. So and it is about kind of inspiring other people to do this stuff as well. So.
Yeah.
And on that note, this is the last week if people want to nominate either themselves or someone else. So don't wait and don't come back to me on Monday saying, is the deadline finished? Yes. Right. 25 days to go. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you all in about 4 weeks' time.
John, before you go, do we know who the nominees are before the conference are?
You might think. Sorry, we probably will actually. I'm not sure. I have to sit with the panel and discuss that. Right? Sit with the panel and discuss that. Okay.
Very good. Just before you go, you're like the Pablo Escobar of hypnosis. You've got all the pushers and addicts following you. Huh?
Thanks for that. Yeah. Do I get Pablo Escobar's money as well, and then I'm happy?
The rumor is you're making an absolute fortune out of it.
Absolutely, yeah. Anyways, right, we passed by that one quickly. Might look like that from Space Jam.
His halo has slipped.
Yeah. Again.
It's gone through your ears.
Yeah. So listen, guys, thank you all very, 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 very much. See you all in 4 weeks' time. Less even.
Look forward to it.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Just turning off the recording here. Shit, it's been going for ages.
Recording stopped.
I'm cursed already because I just joined in.
Thanks, everybody.
So the CAD now know you're Pablo Escobar.
Yeah, ChatGPT will get hold of that now.
Yeah.
Who is the Irish fan? Yeah, thanks very much. Thanks very much.
Surprised what kind of ads you get on your Facebook now.
Oh,
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well done, Fikra.
Well, look-
That was very good. Thank you.
Thank you. It's great.
Yeah, the
great.
connection was a bit unstable at times, but it should balance itself out in the recording. But I think we all got what it was that you were saying.
Yeah,
It really
well-
gets you thinking about it in a different way.
Well, Katrina says I'm a little unstable anyway, so that'll make sense.
And your voice was
If I
perfect.
thought you were serious in saying that, I'd be worried about you, but I know you're not, so therefore we're all right.
He's still not serious. So, and Fikra, your voice is perfect.
Was it? Thank
You
you.
didn't even need your water.
Well, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I spent last week with laryngitis, so it's still a little bit catchy at times. So, which just goes to show, like, I mean, it's all what do you call that? The placebo effect.
It's
You
a
know?
huge thing. It's
May-
massive.
May as well push that one as well now with your Escobarian efforts.
Yeah.
What?
And money. And
Huh?
money, John.
What?
And money.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you know the mansion I'm living in, don't you?
Amazing.
Can I just ask before we go?
Yeah.
Like,
Your house is good. How do you know that? You don't know that, bro.
What's that?
That's Katrina. You're
That's
yeah, there you
Katrina
go.
making the racket. There you go.
That's my father in the background saying hello. He told me to say hello to Fik. He's very impressed. And I'm not my dad's
You
now,
missed it.
so well, I was listening in the background, but he keeps talking. You know, older people, they want to keep talking. Do you know what I mean? And
I know.
I'm trying to listen on air, and he keeps interrupting me.
We're still recording.
Oh, I thought that stopped. It didn't. It stopped. I waited till it stopped to say hello. Anyway, I want to say thank you. I really enjoyed that, and as you all know, Fikra's a wonderful person, and we all know that, and I'm so proud to be his wife. But I'm looking forward to seeing you all now. Hopefully I'll be able to say a little bit better when it comes to the conference in 3 or 4 weeks' time. Okay?
Oh,
So
well,
see
after
you at
that.
home, honey, at some point.
Okay, love. After
Take
that.
care.
I take everything back from what I said about her, so sorry about that.
Well, I wasn't listening to it all because he was talking in the background, but I'll be listening over every single word on the etiquette and how well you pronounced everything.
Okay.
I mean,
there's one job. Will you just have a look at the internet? It's a bit unstable.
Yeah, that's down in the office now, so it isn't normally that unstable, so we'll get the IT guy onto that and we'll have
Absolutely.
Another look at that.
Right.
Okay.
The
God
boss
bless
has
everybody.
in charge, Fiacre.
Okay. I just watch out for the droopy lip anyway, like you'll see it dripping off.
We forgot all about that.
Oh, she. After me
It's the
telling you,
other
I
side, by the
told
way.
you to keep an eye on it.
It's the other side. You must have balanced it out.
Oh.
John O'Connor, go on.
Yeah, the question was about the dropping of the Zoom call. Any tips when that happens? Anyone know what causes that?
What do you mean dropping the call?
Just if Fiacre was going quiet, like his connection was
it
breaking.
was his internet. I could see it here. His internet was gyrating up and down.
Okay.
And you know what? We just live in a world where you assume it's absolutely okay these days. And I don't know what was causing that, but
Yeah.
I could see it going from white to yellow to red and back.
And then sometimes you could be on full signal and kind of like it just cuts
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be the internet's been heavily used in the area around you. Sometimes that's.
Or the wind. Sometimes the wind blows it off.
But actually, isn't it perfect? Fiacre's example all through of not letting that be an anxious moment, but being how do we sit back and think about what the response should be rather than thinking, oh shit, what do we need to do this now? Just we recorded the whole world's looking at it. Ah! No, we didn't do it.
Yeah, we'll deal with it. We'll get through it.
Absolutely. Look, from any time I've done this before, the recordings all come out in the past anyway, or they all come out, so it levels itself out when it's recorded.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah.
Excellent stuff.
Thanks
Alright.
very much, Fiacre. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and John, and everyone else that piped in was great.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, likewise, and look forward to seeing you all in April.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for your
Excellent.
attention.
All right, see ya.
We'll talk to you
Bye.
soon, okay? Bye.
Bye.
There you go. If you're a film star,
Honest to God. Yeah.
I know you have your wife's blessing there as well, so you.
Oh,
See you
sure.
guys. Thanks,
Hey,
Fiacre.
Cormac.
All right, Cormac. Listen, talk to you soon.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, perfect. Okay.
All the best.
Good luck, guys. Bye-bye.
Right, see ya. Yeah, no, that was really good. Thank you so much for that. Phil.
Okay, and thank you, and thanks for the opportunity, because like it's just as I said to you, like now that I can hear it again, it just puts it puts life into it. It becomes now that presentation, like so.
Yeah, and I mean, I saw a number of different presentations that I really would have loved to put at the conference. Yours was one, so was Peter's.
Yeah. Well, listen, you're too good at this.
I'm not.
You know, no.
Okay, sorry. No, hold on. And I mean this sincerely, right? I genuinely mean this. There is nothing that I'm doing that nobody else can do. The difference is that I do it. That's it.
Yeah.
And I know it, but there is nothing that nobody else can do.
Yeah. And that's all.
I mean, it's a huge thing for me. I mean, what I had in my head is this is the largest conference in Europe. I've got a long way to go to catch London, but I think we're the second largest.
Have you a long way to go?
Yeah, they're about 250 to 300. Now, honestly, Fiacre, I really thought we'd get to 200 this year with the list of people that was coming. And I am disappointed, but there's still 4 weeks to go.
Yeah.
There's over 100 now so far.
Wow.
Plus speakers, so like that's 130 whatever people there, 140. But yeah, I really had hoped that we would be up around 200. And it's not for me. I never make a cent out of this. For the amount of effort that goes into this now, I actually never made money on it.
Yeah.
But for the amount of money that's gone into, the amount of time that's gone into it, I'm really tired at the minute, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it was more. It's more for everybody. Scott Sandlin sat me down when I was in Vegas and said, There's 3 legs to a conference stool. There is the attendees, you want it to be the best for them. There's the speakers, so you make sure you get the highest caliber and quality, and they keep coming back. And then there's the organization. And the priority 2 are attendees and speakers. Because if you don't take care of the speakers, you don't bring back the good quality people. You know, I mean, you know that whole Marissa Peer's course, and it's based on the Gil Boyne book, How to Hypnotize People. And that's what it's literally based on. Shelley Stockwell co-authored that. Do you know, that's the caliber of people that's coming. We just don't know, as I said, we just don't know.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I didn't know until I went to the States and I just started to discover all this. And it's the conversations. But yeah, I would have loved to have more people there. But look, it is what it is, and there's still time for people to there's probably another 20 or 30 to come. I know that.
Yeah.
Most likely. What's really interesting is the amount of non-Irish who are coming. It's phenomenal, actually.
Yeah.
It's over 50 of that 100.
That's the thing, like, I mean, but it's on our doorstep, so.
But we do that.
Yeah.
We're always like that. And even like, and John O'Connor will tell you, because I've had this conversation with him, and even Stephen Travers today, because he's a member as well, so is Karina, and the APH, you know, trying to get them to go. Like, there's been the 2 at the table, there's been Stephen and Karina, who are always members, and then I joined, and then John O'Connor joined, and they asked me to join. That's why I joined. I didn't do it for any other reason. And like I gave them access to this tonight. One of them is there, but it's like 2 more come this time. But there's 40 people in that group. You know, you kind of bang your head against it. Maybe I'm just more serious about hypnosis, but I kind of feel like if people are serious about their business, then this is the place to be. Learning and connecting.
Yeah.
I'm building